Today on today's video, we'll look into a scenario in which a great European war happens. And by great European war, I don't mean actually that great. But let's get all of Europe to war. Well, technically it's not. It doesn't include Russia or Turkey, because, well, they're basically not in Europe, mostly. Same with Kazakhstan, although it's in Europe. And Azerbaijan and Georgia. So let's start. And well, we have to start with this one. France, Britain declaring war on France. Same thing. They're back to being rivals. Although they make good rivals, I'm sure. Except for the countless lives in between. But we can ignore them. France takes the advantage fast. As they manage to get Spain, Italy, Romania, Greece, Ireland on their side. They're starting strong. Will they stay strong? Who knows? But they're in a strong starting position. Now it's time to bribe nations. With Portugal and Germany joining Britain. Side quickly Austria, Switzerland, Hungary, Netherlands, Luxembourg join their side. Well, let's continue filling in Ireland. Belgium decides to join France. With Serbia and Montenegro joining. Obviously, Albania and Kosovo go against them. Same with Bosnia and Croatia, and then Slovenia just tags along. And Macedonia ends up on that side, with France quickly gaining Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Ukraine and Moldova to its side. Lithuania and Latvia join them, but yeah. With the red team offering all of Dubrovka, parts of Serbia, and well, this part of Greece to Bulgaria. Bulgaria decides to join their side. Sweden and Finland and Estonia join their side. Well, the rest of the nations, yeah, they're not that nice. But the red team probably worse off, simply because it's in a worser starting position, and Bulgaria always picks the wrong side, let's be honest. Bulgaria doesn't know how to pick the winning side, which is kind of sad. But let's start it. With Britain taking an initiative. Yes, the UK takes the initiative. Take over Ireland. And they're not done taking the initiative. They also take over Iceland, which joined the blue team, but it's not shown, who cares. They take it over, quickly being able to establish naval dominance, hopefully. Within Spain, they quickly push this nation out. Now Denmark, they're not in a good position, as they're quickly overrun. Same with Norway. With them managing to secure Estonia, and they push Norway out. With the Balkan nations doing stuff. Like always, they're on the start of worse war. With Bulgaria and Macedonia taking the initiative to occupy Greek Thrace, and they quickly move in to take over Montenegro, to move more forces in from the Balkan nations, to be able to take down Greece. With Greece falling, this is a significant victory for the red team. With Hungary during its incursions in the neighboring nations, with Czechia having no chance. And at this point, these two nations collapse. And a takeover of Vojvodina happens, with Belarus and Estonia starting offensives in the Baltics. And they quickly link up their forces, with Germany occupying some Polish territories. And as this is happening, Belarus starts collapsing. But with enough Lithuanian troops entering to hold it here, Estonian troops, with the forces crossing like Germany into Luxembourg and into the Netherlands. And they invade Switzerland. That doesn't go very well. They also launch an invasion here. But Germany gets Britain. Britain mainly focuses on this front, while Germany focuses on Poland. With Hungary not wanting to invade Poland for some reason. With German troops managing to get to here in Poland, as Swedish and Finnish troops start entering the Baltics, and they start entering Lithuania. With Belarus still having a few troops, but with the help of Estonia, Finland, and Sweden, they manage to push them to Poland. As they cross the border, as all of the coast is taken from Poland, Poland is still holding on, but weakly, as they end up getting cut off from the rest of their allies. And with this, they fall. With Bulgaria managing to launch an offensive against Romania, with them launching offensives here to cut off Serbia. With Serbia falling, Romania loses Bucharest, but they keep fighting because they're strong. With Britain attempting a landing in Spain and in France. With them all entering. With their landing so far successful. But with Spain and France launching 2 counter-offensives, the landing still managed to hold, but they're more defensive now than advance. Good. With Germany holding on as forces enter more. With another Italian breakthrough. With Ukraine launching an offensive but not getting very far. With Britain deciding to land in Normandy. With this advance becoming offensive, same with this one. And they fund rebels in Portugal, which quickly managed their revolt around Lisbon, and then British troops land in, which quickly pushes Spanish troops out. And with the troops that landed here, and the rebels managing to cut across here, and then they start taking over Galicia. With Bulgaria starting another offensive in Romania to take over Dobruja, as Hungarian troops are fully mobilized. With Ukraine managing to hold on because it's too strong. And then they push across the front. Quickly and rapidly they advance across the front as they take more territory from Germany. With British troops landing, with more troops moving to this front to push them back. With them pushing them back to the Rhine. In this massive offensive. As they push to the Rhine, they manage to secure a stalemate. And then Swedish and Finnish troops start moving in from the north to liberate what's left of occupied Belarus. I guess it's weird to say occupy a nation that would be your enemy. But anyways. With them moving in towards Kiev and managing to quickly take it. And then spread across the coast. With their goals definitely being met as they take northern parts of Ukraine. And they start moving in from the south into Moldova. And then they use this as they take Odessa to cut across. With Ukraine only able to hold for a bit before the city of Lviv is taken. And they basically have no chance in this direction. With France and Spain managing to make a breakthrough in the south. But if Ukraine falls, they fall. Basically becomes the situation. with them managing to move to the Dnieper River, and with Ukraine starting to fall. Somehow the stronger team is losing at this on the losing side, because I guess they had multiple fronts to fight on, maybe. And while they move in to take over Crimea, but they decide to make a landing in the south. And then they finally take it over. But France makes a big offensive against Germany, and Italy makes a big offensive too. The Italian front moving into southern Germany, and the French front meets up, which leads to Germany suffering massive defeats. And they manage to take over Switzerland with the goal to take Berlin, but when they get close to taking it, another British landing in France forces France to retreat. Which only leads to the front being like this. Now France manages to launch a massive landing, pushback, as they force the forces out. Almost, but then they failed to kick them out of Normandy. With the offensive led by German forces speeding up to the border. And then they move in around into the Netherlands, taking over these lands, with France leading the team, so if they fall, basically the whole alliance crumbles. With them moving into Belgium rapidly, as they head down to take over Paris, which them encircling in, them British forces manage to link up, meaning more forces enter the city, taking it quicker. With France actually trying, and Spain gets a surrender reputation instead, which quickly leads to advances in the south. And while France collapsed and Italy's like, yeah, we're out. But the conditions is they retreat and they don't get anything. With them declaring that they have been defeated without justice. Which led to a standoff. With them realizing that they were attacked, they claim. By this, they quickly move into these lands. With no one wanting to deal with this, they just literally push them out. And then say peace. As they were actively defeated. You know, Italy is the only one that doesn't become an occupation zone. With them occupying Europe as they decide what to do with it. As they plan to change lands and stuff. And change borders. But we've seen the conflict and to change the borders at this point would just make the video longer. But maybe it would be useful. I don't really know what they would do, how they would decide this. In like the Balkans and everywhere. That's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, and on to subscribe.